Good morning. I think we're live. Happy Sunday. And I hope you're having a beautiful weekend. It started to rain here, which is actually kind of nice. It's been a little while since we've gotten some rain, and the ground could use it. It's been a very, very dry spring around here, which is highly unusual. So I'm glad to see a little bit of the moisture that should be here hanging out. Today I want to talk to you about the power of language. What inspired this particular Sunday Live is the fact that I was watching a TED Talk. What are your I have some time to kill habits, right? Oh, good morning, Marley. It's so good to see you. I'm so glad that you're able to be here today. How are you doing, lovely? So this TED Talk, this scientist, I believe, don't quote me, but I believe she's a neurologist. But she was studying the language of different cultures. And I don't know if you know much about language, but many languages make some words feminine and some words masculine. And I think most of them do, actually, but they're not all the same. So the example that she gave, which was so fascinating, was different languages that they called the word bridge. Some called bridges feminine and some called bridges a masculine connotation. So that's, cool and interesting and everything, but she took it a step further and she showed people in that culture who use that language a picture of a bridge and asked them to describe it. And what she found was the same picture of the same bridge was described completely differently depending on how they use the word. If it's a feminine word, it was described as beautiful and graceful and words that are feminine, or considered feminine, at least to us. And for those who use the word in a more masculine sense, they would describe it in a very masculine way. So, useful and strong and words like that, which is fascinating. So she took it one step further and she started delving into how language builds our reality and how our reality of how we use language affects our perception. So let that sink in for just a second. That's big, right? I mean, we know our culture affects how we see things. Absolutely. I mean, how can it not? And now, just simply the way we use words can affect our perceptions. That's huge. That's huge. So that got me to thinking about the power of language. And I started thinking about all the different things that I've learned over the years as an English second language teacher, as a teacher of English. It's fascinating. And I remember one of my teachers, my spiritual teachers, explaining to us that the word abracadabra is not a word that means magic exactly, although it does and it doesn't. It's an Arabic word that actually means I speak into being, or something very close to that. And it's basically a reminder of the power of our words to shape our reality. So let that sink in for a second. There's going to be a lot of sinking today. That's true, Marley. In fact, so Marley said, spend a day not complaining and your world already seems brighter. Absolutely. In fact, I think it's about 2 years ago, I did a challenge to not complain. How's that for fun? No complaining for 30 days. Let me tell you, that's harder than it seems. And I like to think of myself as a fairly positive person. I learned some things about myself, let me tell you what. Absolutely. Yeah, you sure can, Marley. So our language is really powerful. And then I got into thinking about the psychology of language. and started to think about conflict language. And I'm sure you've heard, I think it's fairly mainstream right now about active listening and using I statements when having conflict. But we also have conflict language for ourselves. And this is where you're like starting to squirm. Get ready, because here it comes. And believe me, I squirm too, because I catch myself doing stuff like this all the time. So we say things and we shape our reality. It comes from our belief system. It comes from our faith in ourselves. It comes from not wanting to take responsibility for something, or not wanting to deal with something, or being fed up and frustrated and angry, etc., etc., etc. But we have conflict language within ourselves. So a good example of this would be, she won't let me do the thing. Well, that's a blaming. That's a judgment and a blaming. And it takes away your power. Now, granted, there are times when people try to get in your way, or they try to prevent you from doing something, but you always have a certain amount of power as well. I prevent me from doing something. It may be in response to something someone else is doing, but I prevent me. I can't. Try replacing I can't with I choose not to. I don't have time. You can flip that into I don't make it a priority to. So example, I don't have time to journal. I'm choosing not to make it a priority. That's a little different. That also builds integrity. It builds integrity, it builds accountability, and this makes you more powerful. These are empowering statements rather than dispowering statements. And this is the kind of conflict language that we use in our heads all the time, until we start paying attention to it and we start flipping it around. Language is so, so powerful. And I always love the comment. I read this years ago about spells. Spells are part of the word spelling. There's a reason why words are powerful. They are powerful. And if you can imagine, the words that we speak to others, the impact that they have are incredible. We might be a little more mindful about what comes out of our mouth. For example, a client I had years ago had a lot of self-esteem issues, a strong belief that he was not worthy, and that he wouldn't find love with someone, with a partner. And, digging into where that came from, his mom used to say to him, you're not God's gift. And he internalized that. He's not God's gift. He's not good enough. And it became a seed story. And that seed for the story of his life that he believes and tells the story to himself, that he's not good enough. Did mom mean to do that? Probably not. She probably thought she was keeping his ego in check, or maybe even was teasing him. I don't know. We never really got to that point. Once the realization was there, we sort of moved from that point. And that's what coaching is. Coaching is not about trying to heal those things in the past. They're about moving forward from them. It's amazing. It's amazing. Another client I had who had huge body issues, self-image issues. She was a chubby little girl. She was really cute. I saw pictures. And her mom's comment, "You're not really fat, you're just big boned." So she had this belief, and now she's self-conscious about her body and about who she is and how she looks. And that affected everything. Again, it's a seed. It's a seed story. And that affected everything in the rest of her life till she dealt with it. And we do this to ourselves as well, all the time. We plant the seeds. I can't. I shouldn't. I couldn't. Nobody will like me. Right? We do these things to ourselves all the time. The power of language is incredible. So, one of the big things that I have been working with and on, I might add, for years is the should statement. It's a powerful source of angst for a lot of people because we feel like we should, and often we don't even want to, or we don't know how to, or we're not able to do it as well as we think everyone else does. And we beat ourselves up for our shoulds. And I actually put out a video on YouTube. I'll just try to find it. I'm sure it's lovely because it was quite a few years ago. That the title of it was "Stop Shoulding All Over Yourself." Right? And I love that. I still use that phrase because it's humor, but the truth is we need to stop shoulding all over ourselves. I should do this, I should do that. Well, do you even want to? I don't know. And maybe your expectations are just a little too high for a beginning person. I don't know. But I do know that shoulds cause us a lot of grief. And they're not a high vibration. They're a very low, should is a very low vibration, and it doesn't motivate us. So how do we get past it? Well, I have a 5-step process for you today. And if you like, I can also make it maybe a PDF or a picture of some sort and put it in the group so you can download it and save it. So the first thing you need to do is you need to figure out what your should is that you want to work with. Don't try to change all your shoulds today. That's a lot. That's an awful lot. You really need to pick something simple to start with. Changing your language to be one of a higher vibration and that will serve you better is not a fix that's going to happen in like 2 weeks. I wish it was. I wish I could, wave that proverbial magic wand and just sort of help you fix that. It's a long process. It's practice. It's constant vigilance, and it's practicing mindfulness along with it. So the first thing you're going to do is pick something that you want to work with, that you really want to do, right? Don't should yourself into a corner, right? So it can be anything. It can be, I should meditate more. I should exercise. I should read with my kids more. I should do a new course. I should attend Bonnie's lives more often. Whatever your should is. I should eat better. I should clean my closet. Whatever it is, that's niggling at you right now, that you guilt yourself for, you beat yourself up for because you're not doing it or you're not doing it enough in your opinion, the one that brings you some stress, go for that, because we want to change something that's going to be meaningful. Otherwise there's no purpose, there's no reason to bother with it. Just forget about it. If it has no meaning, let it go. It's easy as that. So you got your thing. I have been working on my health quite a bit the last little while. Having gotten permission to do things I previously wasn't allowed to do. So for me, I should exercise more. It is not fun getting back into it. I knew this. I knew it wasn't going to be fun, but I do know how I feel afterwards. So I'm working through it. So I should exercise more. What I want you to do is take your should and replace the should with could. Just start with that. Now say your statement. For me, I could exercise more. Whew, that feels better already, doesn't it? Takes a little of the pressure off and adds a little possibility. It's a little lighter. I could exercise more. Yeah, I could. I sure could. And, it's funny when I do this exercise with my even group coaching or one-on-one, it doesn't matter. What usually happens is the whole vibe of the room raises just a little bit. People start smiling because it feels better. It's a little easier. So now that we've gotten to the coulds, we're feeling a little better. And it is important to do these in steps because it's hard to jump Okay, we're going to get somewhere. It's hard to jump from that low vibration should all the way up to where we're going. Okay, so do the steps. It doesn't take long. So now that we've gotten a could, we're feeling maybe a little lighter, a little more at ease, we're going to replace the could with a can. So say your sentence again, whatever it was that you were going to work with. I can exercise more. Yeah, I can. And now suddenly, and every time, and I've had other people tell me this too, if you pay attention, I can exercise more. The opportunities start weaving their way through your head. You start thinking, yeah, I can. I can probably do it after work on Wednesdays because I don't have any meetings, or I can go for a walk at lunchtime, or all of the cans start showing up. The opportunities, the places where you can make it happen. So this is usually a big leap in energy. This feels good, right? This feels possible. This doesn't feel painful, although the running might be later. I can exercise more. Okay, so now we're going to hit number 4. We're getting there. We're almost there. We're going to replace that can with a much higher vibrational expression. We're going to raise the vibration using our language. We're going to replace can with excited to. I am excited to exercise more. Say it again. Whatever it is that you need to work with right now. I am excited to exercise more. And allow it. Allow that to come through, because often, we just say the things because Bonnie said say them, or, Oprah said say them, or whoever said say them said say this. But allow yourself to feel it. The emotion is where the vibrations go, right? So I'm excited. I am excited to exercise more. Feel it. Okay? So the 5th one is where you're going to help motivate yourself just a little bit more when you need it. And this is the one that I want you to write on a Post-it note, and stick on your bathroom mirror, or my favorite is making a background with the words on it and putting it on my phone screen, so that every time I open my phone, there it is, a reminder. That for me works really well. You're going to put this expression somewhere where you can see it. Just like when we did the vision boards, it's that visual reminder over and over and over. And eventually your subconscious says, all right, I get it. This is what we believe now. Right? We're not going to believe everything is hard anymore. I can totally do this. In fact, I am excited to exercise more. Now you're going to add in one more key element to really nailing this down and making this a powerful empowerment statement. You're going to add your why. You're going to give it a reason. Whatever it is, whatever has meaning for you. So for me, I am excited to exercise more because I feel better and stronger. And I like it. So that's my statement. I'd love to hear yours. I'd love for you to add yours to the comments. Let us know what it is. What is your should that you have now become really excited about and are feeling more motivated for? Now, again, if this has no meaning for you, that 5th step is going to be really difficult. And I would invite you to examine why you're doing this, right? What's the purpose behind it? If it's not something that actually has any meaning for you, it's going to be really tough to stay motivated. And to be perfectly honest, there's no point to it. If you can't find a purpose or a reason behind it, do something else. You have a limited time on this earth. You only have so much energy in one day. You need to focus on things that have some meaning. Now, granted, I don't think doing the dishes has a lot of meaning, but I do like having a clean kitchen. So there's my why, right? I like to be able to get up in the morning and just start my day. So there's my why. It doesn't have to be a big, kind of why. It can be simple and just have a small meaning. But if you can't find any reason to do the thing that you think you should be doing, maybe you shouldn't be doing it. Maybe you should be doing something else. So watch your shoulds. And this is just a way of reframing that also adds in the element of raising your vibrational message to the universe. I hope that serves you. So you're going to go from should to could to can to excited to excited to because. And then use that statement. Use it, use it, use it. So let me know if you have any questions about that particular tool of reframing and reworking your should response. And I would also love to hear underneath, below, in the group, what it is you're reframing and how it works. So what did you start at? What did you end up with? All right, so let's help each other experience what this looks like. And I will see you next Sunday with some more fun things. If there's anything that comes up, remember to let us know in the group and let us support you, because that is the whole point of building a community together, is that we are there for each other. Meanwhile, this is your reminder that you can handle anything that comes your way this week. You are strong and resilient and beautiful, and we are here for you. Oh, I'm so glad, Marley. I can't wait to hear about it. And I look forward to seeing you in the group and next Sunday on our live. Okay? Have a beautiful, beautiful week. Mwah. Bye for now.